We always come up with a lot of transfer rumors, even though transfer window is there or not there. It doesn't matter. That's the whole reason why I think there are lots of Arsenal news just apart from the transfer rumors that are actually going on. So, what we will try to do in this episode is, of course, um, we're going to talk about what is going on, and of course, lots of other things. Aaron Ramsdale is being praised, and of course, lots of advices to him. One from David Seaman, and of course, there we go. Kevin Campbell opens up about a lot of stuff as well. So let's see what Arsenal can and what Arsenal should do in their pursuit for the next superstar in the upcoming transfer windows. But more importantly, let's talk about David Seaman. So Aidan Jaywood comes up with this episode with this article that David Seaman also uh, spoke to Aaron Ramsdale recently. So after the North London derby, David Seaman says that Ramsdale had three saves to make. A save in the first half that you'd expect him to make. A save from Harry Kane that was probably hitting the post, but he got a hand to it. And then a brilliant save at 3-1 where he tipped it onto the crossbar, and that's in the mix for save of the week. It was a good performance from him, but I spoke to him afterwards and I said to him, by the way, North London derbies are never usually that easy, so don't get used to that. So I'm pretty much sure this is something that um, this is definitely, I think, something that Aaron Ramsdale knows, and I don't think so. I think we saw him being cocky in one of the games, which I don't like at all. Any of the goalkeepers trying to boast or show off, or doesn't make sense. I'm not talking about Ederson at all. So, talking more about Ramsdale itself, well, Kevin Campbell says that Aaron Ramsdale has been incredible for Arsenal. So, Ramsdale has kept three clean sheets in Arsenal's last four Premier League fixtures and kept Brighton at bay, which was the need of the hour. Of course, if you remember that wonderful save, if it not if he had not palmed it away, I swear to God, Neil Maupay, it would have been Brighton 1, Arsenal nil. Neil Maupay making sure that Brighton make 3 points, and yeah, I hate Neil Maupay, man. But talking about Kevin Campbell spoke to Football Insider. He says, "This is the beautiful thing about football. At first, I didn't pass judgment because I did not know enough about him. Instead, I went away and I did my research. Others made preconceptions about him because he was relegated with a couple of clubs. It was held against him straight away. I mean, when people found out he was signing, he received hate on social media. He had to turn off his messages and comments, and this was before he had even signed for the football club. Straight away, fans are on his back even though he hadn't done anything. There was a preconceived idea that he was not good enough for Arsenal, but let me tell you, that young man has impressed me as much as anyone they've signed. I think he's been incredible. Not just his saves and his distribution, but the way he commands his box. He's not afraid to give his defenders a rollicking. That is really important. I never saw Bernd Leno do it. You can see that he has a feeling for the football club. Kevin Campbell is the guy, man. He just spoke exactly what I would want to say about Bernd Leno not being that commanding, and we all know that as an Arsenal fan. As Arsenal fans, we know what Leno cannot offer. That's very much needed. Well, talking about Raheem Sterling, well, we have to, because Jamie Carragher previously said how Arsenal could sign Raheem Sterling amid transfer links, but there's a big no-no because, of course, Arsenal don't have Champions League football. Arsenal don't even have any European football. So Carragher claimed that Sterling would likely not consider a move to a club that aren't in the Champions League. So he says, when it comes to being the most underrated England player of this era, Sterling is out on his own. I can't believe I have read some reports suggesting Sterling could be a make weight in a deal to take Kane to City. With respect, do people think Sterling is at a point in his career where he could join Spurs? Are they serious? If he was available, top Champions League clubs would be queuing up for him. Well, anything to get Harry Kane to City, that could do. I mean, Sterling, of course, why not? Why wouldn't they not take Sterling? But why would you want to give up Sterling? Like, seriously, why? Well, Arsenal and Edu they have been told to sign Borussia Dortmund star and Kevin Campbell is the one who thinks that way, that they should actually go and spend all they can to get Jude Bellingham. So, as reported by Eurosport earlier this year, it won't be easy to price away Bellingham from his club. He could actually go for £100 million. No way is that much. He's a very quality player, don't get me wrong, but no way Jude Bellingham is 100 million, man. Why do Eurosport even come up with that number? Nobody knows. So talking about this, Arsenal signing Jude Bellingham, Kevin said, why not? This young man was at Birmingham, just up the M6. Nobody took the chance, and he had to go to Dortmund. If we have to pay the money, and if we want somebody to be in the midfield for years to come, we've got to pay the money. Well, it's all about paying the money and getting Jude Bellingham, and that's the advice to Arsenal. That's the advice that Arsenal should take, whether they will take or not. Only time will tell. And talking about time, well, right now it looks like Emerson Royal to Arsenal is actually was a bad idea, because Arsenal signed Takehiro Tomiyasu. So there's this reporter who says why Tottenham actually signed Emerson Royal instead of Tomiyasu, because Tomiyasu, but till the end he was linked with Tottenham a lot, but Atalanta wanted to sign Tomiyasu as well. So Tottenham opted to sign Emerson instead of Takehiro Tomiyasu due to having more of an attacking threat, according to journalist Paul Brown. So Paul Brown opened up about why Spurs took the decision. He says Spurs, under the new head coach Nuno Espirito Santo, following his appointment in June, opted to bring in Emerson Royal. Brown believes Emerson's better numbers in the attacking third of the pitch played a key role in Nuno eventually opting to sign him instead of Tomiyasu. Brown spoke to Give Me Sport. He says, I'm not really sure that's exactly what Spurs were looking for. I think Spurs were looking for more of an attacking sort of fullback, because Nuno likes his fullbacks to bomb on, and that's probably why they went in a different direction. So I think that's the whole reason why it was Emerson came on to Spurs rather than they signing Takehiro. Of course, Takehiro did not have very good attacking numbers, but yes, defensively he was very much astute. Moving on, so it looks like when Alex Lacazette goes off, since his deal gets worn off, it looks like Fischages have two options to replace Lacazette. Well, Fischages say that they have Arsenal have two options to replace Lacazette. One of them is Andrea Belotti. He could become a free agent when the season comes to a close, as his deal is up in the coming months. Well, he joined Torino from Palermo in 231 appearances, scoring 106 goals and 26 assists. Belotti has endured an injury-hit campaign this season, however spending most of the season out with a bruised fibula. So Arsenal haven't seen a lot of transfer target for some time. So what about Belotti? Well, he could sign for free by Arsenal after June 2022, but the Premier League outfit are sure to have competition for his signature. Well, the striker has an impressive scoring record and would not break the bank with he used to earn £2.2 million a year weekly wages. That is 42k per week. That's nothing. Actually, it's very less. But let's talk about the options that Arsenal have. It's Balogun, Martinelli, for now Aubameyang, but Nketiah and Lacazette will definitely leave. Well, Belotti has definitely, looks like a very good option for me. Belotti is a really good player, but let me know in the comments, would you guys accept Andrea Belotti at Arsenal? But let's talk about finance expert Kieran Maguire. He's insisting that to Daniel Ek, if you want Arsenal, pay the money, bro. So Kieran Maguire, who's a finance guru, spoke to Football Insider, says money talks in business, and money talks to Stan Kroenke. If Daniel Ek comes up with an offer that is irresistible, Kroenke will accept. He is a businessman and understands value. What Ek has failed to do is come up with something acceptable. If he does, I'm sure Kroenke will consider it. He has ambassadors like Henry and Bergkamp, but he would be far better operating behind closed doors. What he's doing now, it just seems like he's trying to get celebrity endorsements. Yep. I think I'm pretty much sure of this opinion, that if Daniel Ek comes out and even tries to buy Arsenal, I think he's going to. I don't know, man. He's going to be creamed. He's going to be creamed in terms of whatever he has. He's got to spend literally every goddamn penny what he has, and that still won't be enough to buy Arsenal. So I think I don't know. I don't know. I pretty much believe it's just free publicity for Spotify, man. You may be a fan, okay, but if you want if you want some, come get some. It's as simple as that. So I'll keep it to that as well. So with this, I'd like to end this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know, would you guys accept Andrea Bellotti on a free transfer? Let me know in the comments. Cheers.